So welcome to this session on the demonstration of how to input data into TaskStream by Watermark. Once you receive your username and password, you need to go ahead and log on to TaskStream. What you want to do is pull up a web browser. It could be Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or Edge, or Safari. Stream, and then select the TaskStream option. In my case, it's my Texas College email address. And then, of course, the password, which is associated to your account. Once you log in, you will land on this home page. For those of us who are faculty, the Eraser or JIX is the learning management system to deal back the students in your courses or classes. TaskStream is a platform for data collection, of course, for assessments. So it's like a data repository. So when we come to TaskStream, it's simply to input data, which implies the job of collecting the data and doing the analysis is done out of TaskStream. So you only come here when you've done all of your data collection and all of the data analysis to input that information into this platform for the purpose of making your analysis accessible and available to stakeholders such as accrediting agencies or other organizations. Okay. So once you log into TaskStream, in your case, you'll be dealing mainly with the workspace right here. This is the workspace. It's the area within which you the type of assessment the assessment. I'm going to pull up what they have in here is program review. I was looking for the assessment cycle. Where? It's all program review. I was looking for assessment. Okay, this is it. So let me go back to home. So let's assume that you're in charge of the assessment in the area of business administration, the division of business administration. Yeah. So once you've collected all of your data, usually different your goals and objectives at the beginning of the school year, and then collect your data throughout the school year to the end of the school year, which is in the spring semester, and input the data. Other schools have it where you have your goals set up at the beginning, then there's a mid-year report, which is around the end of the first semester, and then there's a final report semester. I don't know how it's set up here. Regardless of however it's done, you ultimately be required to come in here and input the data. Okay, so as I said a while ago, then once you input your data, and then the analysis you've made, so it's like a repository. It doesn't do the analysis for you. Hoping that or thinking that somewhere at the end of the semester, we'll just come to TaskStream and then have the results. No. The bulk of the work is done out of this environment. We simply come here to input the data. So let's take a look at assessment in the business administration area workspace. That's what we'll be concerned about. We'll be in charge of the credentials. So what we want to do is click on assessment, academic assessment workspace. So right here we have two options. There's a program review and the academic assessment workspace. It's the same principle, whether you're inputting data for. So I'm going to click on the academic assessment workspace. This is the assessment of either the program or the the entire division, whichever you're looking at. Okay. But let's just assume that we're going with the assessment of the program, which of course implies the department. So once you get to this page, there's what is known as standing requirements. These are it pertains to information which is more or less standard for your area. The mission statement is standard. For the most part, you're going to use the same objectives for the entire year and probably carry the same objectives forward to the following year modified. And then there's the curriculum map, which simply shows you tied to courses across your of course, you want to start by inputting the mission statement. Now, the way TaskStream works is more like the concept of a library. I know most of us rent or check out books from the library, but that's somehow the way in which TaskStream works. By the way, TaskStream is one of the platforms of the company Watermark. So if you hear Watermark TaskStream, you shouldn't get mixed up. They have a different product. Watermark, which is the main company, has different products, which is being used for assessments, for accreditation reports, and so to input information for the mission statement. Again, as I said a while ago, it's like what happens in the library when you go to use a book in the library and you want to take it home. What you do is you check the book out. And while you're using it, once you've checked it out and you're using it, access to a book, you return it or check it in. It's only at that point that some other person can have access to that book. So when you want to input data into TaskStream, what happens is you go through a checkout process. You'll check out the environment or the area and input your data and do the editing, and then you save. Because it is checked out, you are the only person viewing that space at that point in time. Any other person who logs in cannot have access to that because it's been checked out. And then once you're done, you save. For any other user to be able to gain access to it, you have to check it in. So if there are two of you who have access to your area and that two of you are able to go in and log in, they will tell you it's not available. The system will tell you that area is not available. It's being used, okay? So that's the concept of checking out and checking in. Unlike other in Jigs, for example, which is the learning management system, once you input your data, you simply hit save or submit, and you're done. There's in Jigs. I can be in Jigs or define an assignment while a student is doing the assignment. But in Watermark, once it's checked out, no user has access to it. So as I said a while ago, the bulk of the work for data collection and analysis is done out of here. So you want to have the mission statement somewhere. Your learning objectives and outcomes already somewhere. And all you simply do is copy and paste. So what you want to make sure is that you have the mission statement somewhere, the learning objectives, the curriculum map, the assessment plan, assessment findings. So we're going to see how to copy the mission statement or copy content and paste into Watermark. We'll practice with the mission statement and two learning objectives. So if you want to paste the mission statement into Watermark, what you do is click. Usually share for the first time, you get the directions as to what to do. But essentially what you do is, it says use this page to document the mission statement for your program or department. The mission statement should be a clear, concise statement outlining the ultimate principles that guide the work of the program, whom it serves, in what ways and with what results. Now, because I couldn't gain access to the mission statement of a program, I'm going to use the mission statement of the college. But bear in mind the fact when it comes to you inputting the data, you're going to use the mission statement of your program. If there's no mission statement for your program, use the mission statement of your division. It will fit. So once you click on that link, to the top right, you want to click on checkout. Click on checkout. Once you click on checkout, click on edit. And when you click on edit, a window pops up prompting you to paste mission statement, which should be somewhere here. I'll simply copy. Go back to the task room window. Right click and paste. You may want to do check spelling if you want to. It says spell check complete, close window, and then you hit on submit. Okay. Now, once you submit, you're going to be prompted to link this to a specific assessment cycle. So right here, we have just the 2019-2020 assessment plan. So I'm going to link it to this. And then apply changes. So once I get the confirmation page, I'm more or less done with the mission. Go back to if I need to proceed with the learning outcomes, 2 ways to go about that. I can click on return to work area or return to, and I'll click on the learning objective outcome. So for now, we are more or less done with the mission statement. So if anybody were to come, if I were to click here, you see it's not, you have to click on check-in to release it. Right now, I'm the only person who can view this. If I was working with some other person who could gain access to it, when they come in, they will be notified of the fact that I'm in it now. So until I click on check-in, nobody can see it now.
So who will see this one? Is that just for
email? No, it's just for for internal view.
Okay.
SACS will only get to see this when the college grants SACS access to the site. Yeah. So, and of course, if you need to come back and make any corrections, simply click on edit, make your corrections, and then submit. We'll move on to the next learning outcomes or learning objectives. Sure.
So when SACS review this, if they have any
comments
or something, they'll highlight it and send it back to us so we can edit it and straighten it out?
There are two ways. There are actually 2 ways by which the information in here can be made available to SACS. Now, I know for the accreditation,
yeah, that's
what you can do is you publish the site.
Right.
You'll publish the content here and make it available on the internet.
Oh, for everyone?
No. Hold on.
For SACS?
No. You make it available on the internet. You provide SACS with a link and then a password. So you have the option. You have the option of making it available without any password. Now, people will only get to it if they have the link.
Oh, but see, my question was, if we go to SACS review and we have to report our results to SACS, then we allow SACS to have it, and if they accept it, they'll send it back saying, okay, accept it. Or if not,
they're not going to highlight, they will send you a feedback, a written feedback.
That's what I'm saying.
Referencing the standards.
That's what I'm finding.
Yes. Gotcha. So for the outcomes, again, just as with the mission statement, you click on the learning objective and then check out. Yes.
Are we talking about program learning outcomes or course learning outcomes?
Program learning outcomes, since we are within the program. Only someone already come. It appears typed the outcomes. Business student will be able to demonstrate. let me check out and then see.
Either that or Dr. Taylor had access to the documents from last.
So there's critical thinking, there's oral and written communication skills, there's written communication. So it appears here that they are using three outcomes. Students
That's pretty difficult.
students will be able to demonstrate knowledge of planning, decision-making, communication, leadership, business ethics. Okay, so if you had to edit this, you simply click on edit. So as you can see, they're all were inserted here. Once let's assume that the page was say blank and you're starting from scratch, you're going to click on create new outcome. Once you click on create new outcome, you're going to see a window just as we saw when we were inputting emission. You paste the outcome, submit, and then you go back and do create new outcome until you've put in the number of outcomes you are having to assess.
Do we have to do that? Can we just edit? Would that be easier?
No, you can edit here if you want to modify. And then it gives you the ability to change. Update, yeah. Now, if you have your curriculum map in place and you want to show which courses are linked or mapped to this, you simply click on the map, it pulls it up, and then you select which one goes with that. And then.
Can you use map instead of a description, or do you need to more descriptive than it is the wording? Because it shows the measure in a sense. So
No,
you do
the map points mainly to the course sequence, which is linked to these outcomes.
yeah.
That's the assessment plan level. Yeah, measures how you measure these outcomes.
So
What means
the
are you going?
assessment tool.
Yeah, the assessment tools. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
testing or writing or
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Internship.
Okay. Scenario, internship, yeah.
So once you get to measure, once outcomes which were inserted here, that's because you're going to have to place each of the measures beneath the corresponding outcome.
Right, got it.
So once we get in, you click on checkout. Remember, every time you're having to input data or content, you always have to check out that area. Check out. And then for this outcome, you click on add new measure. So click on add new measure. Okay. So you put the measure title, select the measure type.
What does that show?
Direct, indirect.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Exam,
And then measure level, is it course, program, institution, or other? In this case, we're doing program. And then you have the acceptable target. I'm going to take an example just in terms of the score in an exam. An acceptable target could be say 70. Ideal would be say 100. Yeah.
or if you're using a rubric.
Yeah, I use that because it's easier for us to understand. Yeah. Then the implementation and timeline. For the most part, it's an academic year. So you usually go from July 1 of the current year to June 30th of the next year.
Does that depend on the school?
It depends on the school, but
I'm just saying,
yeah.
using that for an example.
Yeah, I'm giving that for an example. Responsible.
counts towards the next year.
But for success starts July 1st. So, I know, but I'm just saying if you calculating it,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
different entity altogether, but with success for July 1st, if it's extended to June 30th, you need to include them, but if it's not excluding them, then it can go back to where you're in.
And then once you put in the implementation timeline, you put in key responsible personnel. It's gonna be, if you are here, then it's you, maybe and some other person.
I just want to first know Dr. Thornberry knows institution effectively. Actually, she
On all the reports for SACs.
could help.
So again, key responsible personnel, you put in the names of those who are in charge, and then click on apply changes. Now it wants me to, it's trying to compel me to input data here. I can't do it since it's not my okay. Now, once you've collected all of your data and made the analysis, this is where you come and input your results, assessment findings. Findings per measure. Of course, you want to check out. And then findings per measure.
But we don't have the measures, so we can't.
Yeah, we don't have the measures, but what do you do is, again, you click on edit the ability, your findings, recommendations, after that, submit, and then check in. So let me check in all of this, because now if you were to log out without checking in, it stays as is. So you want to always make sure that you check in before logging
So
in.
nobody else can go in and access it.
No, as long as it's still checked out to you, no other person. Yeah.
That's what no one, I didn't do that.
Checking. What did I do? I wanted assessment findings. Let's check out. The operational plan usually it's in some instances it's referred to as use of results. So based on the outcomes, based on your findings, what are you going to do next?
Oh, like an action plan.
Operational. Click on that. Check out actions. Add new action. You're going to be able to put in actions based on each of the outcomes. So yeah. And then, of course, add new, submit, and then check in again. Then once you're done with that, you can then generate a report. Usually a report is more like a PDF document of the data you input, you key in here. Now you can, let me check this in. So status report, you can share. For today, we're done with this session.